Alright guys, TheEdgeOnBlades here on about the Gerber Obsidian. Um, this used to be my EDC knife before I switched over to the more tactical kind. Um, this one's a little bit more functional and I'll get into that in a second, but first I'm just going to go over some specs real quick. The overall or open length of this knife is 7.06 inches. The blade length is 3.13 inches. The closed length of the knife is 4.13 inches. The weight is 4.6 ounces. The blade on this knife is 440 stainless steel, and it is a plain edge. There is a partial serration on the other kind of this knife, the other like brother, I guess. And this is actually my second Obsidian. My first one did have the serrations, but I got rid of that knife. I sold it to a friend, and I bought this one, and this one's plain. So I figured I could just try them both out and see which one I kind of liked better. But that is a 440. I believe it's A. The website did not specify, but I believe it's 440A. The handle is a glass-filled nylon, and it's kind of got some grooves in there for grip. On their website, Gerber's website, the MSRP was not listed, surprisingly, but the price of the knife, if you buy it online or in a store, should be around $30. So it's not the most expensive knife, but it's also not cheap, you know, compared to just like a $10 knife or a $5 knife that you'll get at checkout somewhere. For the money, I think it's a great knife, but you're not paying a premium for it, and there are some I wouldn't say flaws in design, but there are some things that I definitely think could be improved. So first off, I'm just gonna get into the fact that it has these two little tools right here. It has a file along with a Phillips screwdriver and a bottle opener with a flathead screwdriver. And you can probably use this to open up a can. It's not, can openers are kind of sharpened at the end, and this actually gets fatter. You can see right here it kind of gets fatter. So it might be pretty hard to do that, but if you had to, you could do that or just use the blade. But this makes it a very versatile knife, which I like. You can just pull this out of your pocket and tighten a loose screw or something somewhere. So that I do like about when I carry this as EDC. I use these tools almost as much as I use the blade itself. The blade itself, I don't have any problems with. I'll do a cut test real quick. I believe this is factory. I may have done just like a once over, but nothing major. Oh, that was awful. You know what? Yeah. This is a factory edge, and it does not come very sharp. So definitely one of the flaws here would be how sharp it is from the factory. Let me just try, see if I can get a good one out of it. Kind of. It is a thicker blade. It's kind of a beefy blade, so that might have something to do with it. But it's not all that sharp from the factory. So that's one flaw. And I haven't really used this knife. I pretty much just got it, and I decided to do a review on it because I got it after my blur, and I do carry that. But the locking mechanism is interesting. It is a piston lock or a button lock or a plunge lock, you know, lots of different terms for it, but you can see kind of in there. Here's the button, and you can see it goes down, and there's a two. It's kind of like a two-stage. There's a little, the bar that goes down has a little cutout, and as you open the blade, you see there's kind of a cutout in the blade right there. So as you open that, it snaps into place right there, and it locks the blade into place. And this is a relatively strong lock. There's no blade play. I'll do a spine whack test here real quick. I don't know if I'll be able to get it on camera. I'll do it right here. And it did fail. So that's just something to consider. Maybe it's not the strongest. I'll try it one more time. So yeah, the button lock on this knife does fail. That's another flaw that Gerber needs to kind of look at. It's definitely strong enough to be successful in the fact that if you're cutting something and maybe you catch the back of the blade on something, like I'll put pressure there, and that's as much as I felt comfortable, and it was quite a bit. But that is a flaw that it will come back. But again, that's if you whack the back of the blade on something. I don't think just normal cutting would do that. Another flaw that I see in this knife is the pocket clip. It's not reversible, and for me that's kind of a big thing. Not so much with this knife because it's more of a tool for, you know, just, you know, cutting and using the screwdrivers and stuff. And it fits extremely low in the pocket. I'll show you real quick if it's in the pocket. That is pretty much all you will be seeing right there. So it does ride very low in the pocket, but again, this is a tip down carry only, which means that the tip is facing downwards when it's in your pocket. And I would prefer it to be reversible, but again, it's not huge. The pocket clip design is kind of oddly shaped, but I didn't find that to be a big problem when I carried it. Not this knife. I carried the other variant of it with the serrated edge, but it's the same exact design. One thing that's unique is that this knife, you can see the safety here, it locks the knife closed, and as well as this button lock right here. If you turn the safety off there, now you lock this blade into place. And I'll do another spine whack test here. And this time it did hold. So you know, if you're gonna be using this to hit something, don't know why you would. You don't want to damage your blades, but definitely move this secondary safety up to keep that from closing in. And you can see, I'm not sure if you can see, but oh yeah, you can. Here are my 3 indents on the cards, and they go through, you know, all the way to the back there. So it's probably 10 note cards here. So I did hit it pretty hard every time. So that's just one thing, you know, if you're going to use it really hard, always lock it into the open position. The last thing I don't like about this knife, and this is a great knife, I don't mean to keep throwing out all these negatives to it, but, you know, I want you guys to make an informed decision. If, you know, you choose to buy this knife, you should know what exactly you're getting into. Is that it is not the most comfortable knife. There's no sharp edges, But these lines in here, there's a liner in here, and it is skeletonized, so that makes it a little lighter, but it is still a very hefty, heavy knife. But these liners in here, there's such a big gap that when you're holding the knife, if you really squeeze on it, you know, it's kind of digging into your skin. So for really harsh tasks, you know, it's not the most comfortable knife to hold on to. And again, this pocket clip with this cutout for your finger there, that also kind of presses into your finger. So that's just one other thing to be kind of on the lookout for. All the hardware is held together with Torx bits, or Torx screws. Sorry. There is a lanyard hole. You can see just kind of like a sleeve, and then the lanyard hole. It's relatively small, but it's, you know, no huge deal. I don't have any lanyards. I plan on getting one soon just to try it out, see if I like it. The pocket clip is removable. Just in case you were wondering, there are 2 Torx bits in there, or Torx screws. So if the pocket clip's a bother when you're cutting, you know, you can always take it off and just put it in the pocket or in a sheath or something on your belt. And now what I do like about this knife is that it is, you know, you can open it pretty fast. It's got dual thumb studs, and you can loosen it up. You just press the button and flip it back and forth. And it'll, I know that probably looked weird on camera, but you can open it really quick with one hand. You just depress this button lock and kind of flick it open. So it is pretty fast. And again, a couple problems can be remedied if you want to take the pocket clip off. It might make it more comfortable, and if you want to just slide that up when you're using it, it'll keep it from, you know, the spine whack from forcing the blade in. But other than that, it's a pretty great knife. The one that I did carry, I didn't have rusting problems with, and I don't see any rust on this one either yet. But you know, I think it'll be fine. Again, it's a very heavy knife, and it's got kind of a pointed end here, which I guess you could use as a kubaton or something if you had to, or just to pound in, you know. Again, I wouldn't suggest using your knives or anything, but just if you had to pound something in, you could use that, or you know, again, these tools back here are a big bonus. So just as kind of like a hybrid knife and multi-tool, this is a great choice. At first I didn't like the look of it, just it looked kind of odd to me, but I've grown to just get over that, because it is a decent knife for the money. There's definitely a few flaws that need to be fixed, and you know, maybe Gerber will think about fixing those. But that is my review on the Gerber Obsidian. Again, not the best knife, but definitely not a terrible knife. So thank you for watching. If you're still with me, I know 14 minutes is a pretty long video, but I really appreciate it. Appreciate the subscriptions and comments, and just, you know, all these messages asking about my videos and stuff. You know, just if you have a question, ask. I'll be glad to answer it. If you have any ideas, something you want to maybe see me do in the future, definitely send me a message or leave a comment. And thank you for watching. This is the Edge on Blades, and I will see you next time.